you're listening to this right now, there's a good chance that sleep is taking its time tonight. Maybe your thoughts are a little too loud. Maybe your chest feels a little too heavy. Or maybe you just don't want to be alone with the silence. If that sounds like you, then this story is for you. Tonight, I want to take you somewhere special, a place that doesn't exist on any map, a city that doesn't show up in daylight, that no one can visit by train or car or plane. This is the city that only appears when you can't sleep. You don't need a ticket. You don't need a suitcase. You don't need to be anything other than what you are right now. All you need is your breath and a few moments to follow my voice. Before we go there, let's make sure your body feels just a little more at ease. Right now, wherever you are, make yourself as comfortable as you can. If you're lying in bed, let your pillow hold the weight of your head. Let the mattress carry the curve of your back, your shoulders, your legs, your arms. You don't have to hold yourself up anymore. The bed can do that for you. If you can, close your eyes or soften your gaze. You don't need to focus on anything. Now slowly, take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it just for a moment, and then exhale gently through your mouth. Let's do that again, a little slower this time. Inhale, feeling the air fill your chest, your ribs gently expanding. Hold and exhale, letting your shoulders sink down just a bit more than before. One last time. Inhale, like you're filling your whole body with a quiet light. Hold and exhale, letting that light melt down your arms, your hands, your legs, your feet. If your mind is still racing, that's okay. You don't have to stop thinking. Just let your thoughts drift into the background like distant traffic outside a window. You and I are going somewhere else now, somewhere that only appears on nights like this. It's late. The digital numbers on the clock glow softly in your room, telling you that it's much later than you meant to be awake. You've already shifted positions so many times that even your blankets seem a little tired of moving. You've tried closing your eyes, tried thinking of nothing, tried thinking of something peaceful, but your mind keeps looping back to unfinished tasks, to half-remembered conversations, to worries that feel bigger in the dark. You stare at the ceiling. There's a faint pattern in the shadows, the shapes shifting gently as a car passes outside or as your own breathing moves your chest. You blink slowly. Your eyes feel heavy, but your thoughts don't. You sigh. It's one of those nights, the kind where sleep sits just out of reach, like a door you can see but can't quite open. But tonight, you're not going to lie here alone with your thoughts. Because tonight, the city is waiting. You don't know that yet, not consciously. But deep inside the quiet spaces of your mind, something begins to shift. The silence in your room grows softer, less empty. The usual edges of your thoughts blur like fog rolling in over a field. Somewhere in the distance, not in your room, not exactly in your mind, but in that in-between place where dreams begin, you sense a faint glow, a warm, distant light, like a lone street lamp in the middle of a sleeping world. Without getting up, without moving a muscle, you feel the sense of falling sideways into a quieter version of reality. You're still aware of your body in bed, the weight of your blanket, the pillow beneath your head, but at the same time, you feel your awareness step gently out of that scene, as if another you is standing at the edge of your room, barefoot, watching yourself sleep. This other you, the one made of soft thoughts and wandering dream, takes a step toward the door, except it isn't your bedroom door. It's a door you don't remember seeing before. Tall, narrow, and slightly ajar, with a faint line of light spilling out from the gap. The light isn't harsh or bright. It's the warm glow of lanterns, of quiet windows, of a city that knows it's meant only for the night. As you move closer, you notice something else. On the surface of this strange door, there are tiny carvings, little marks, like the tallies someone might make on a wall to count the days. Except these aren't days. You realize, somehow, without knowing how, that these are sleepless nights. Each line, each soft scratch is a night someone couldn't sleep. A night like this one. You place your hand on the door. The wood is cool, but not unfriendly. It feels familiar, as if you've touched it before in another life, or another restless night you've already forgotten. With a slow breath in, you push the door open and step through. The air on the other side is cool and gentle, with the faintest hint of rain that hasn't fallen yet. You step out onto a quiet street, paved with smooth, pale stones that catch the light like the surface of a calm river. Above you, the sky is a deep, midnight blue, not black, not empty, but full of soft gradients and drifting clouds that glow faintly at the edges as if lit from within. It isn't like the sky you know. There are stars, yes, but they move slowly, like they're taking their time to settle into the right place. Some are brighter than others. Some pulse gently, as if breathing. The street you're on is narrow and winding, lined with small buildings that lean toward each other in quiet conversation. Their windows glow with soft golden light, and from some of them, you can hear the faint murmur of distant music, the clink of teacups, or the rustle of pages turning. Lanterns are strung above the street, hanging on delicate wires, swaying almost imperceptibly in a breeze you can barely feel. Each lantern is a little different. Some are round and paper thin. Some are glass with swirling patterns inside. Some are shaped like tiny moons or stars or clouds. You stand there for a moment, taking it all in. There is no traffic, no engines, no horns, no urgency. Only the gentle hum of a city that has never learned how to hurry. You look behind you, half expecting to see your bedroom door. But it's gone. In its place, there's a small archway made of stone, covered in faint glowing lines, like the marks on the door, like the memory of sleepless nights. You know without knowing how that you can go back whenever you're ready, but for now, the city is here, and it only appears when you can't sleep, which means that right now, it's yours. As you begin to walk, your bare feet make almost no sound on the smooth stone. You notice a sign on the wall of the nearest building. It's written in a language you don't recognize, with flowing, curving letters. Yet as you look at it, the meaning slips gently into your mind, as if translated directly into your chest. It says, "Welcome, wanderer of wakeful nights. In this city, nothing will chase you. Nothing will demand of you. You may stay as long as you need and leave the moment you begin to drift." Beneath the words, in smaller writing, thoughts are allowed here. Worries are allowed here. You are allowed here. You feel something loosen inside you. The knots in your mind don't vanish, but they loosen, like tightly wound threads beginning to unspool. You keep walking. The city feels old and new at the same time, like a place that has always existed, but only remembers to show up when someone needs it. You pass a small cafe, its windows fogged slightly with warmth from inside. Through the glass, you see a few people sitting at tables alone, hands curled around comforting mugs. Their faces are soft, their eyes a little tired, but peaceful. They look like you on nights when you can't sleep, except here, They're not scrolling, not staring at glowing screens. They're simply being. You realize that everyone in this city is like you. No one lives here permanently. Everyone arrives by accident on nights when sleep refuses to come. Somehow, that thought feels comforting. You're not the only one wide awake in the dark. You never were. As you turn down a narrow alley drawn by the soft glow ahead, you notice a small shop. The sign above the door is shaped like a lantern itself, swinging very gently, light flickering inside. The door is half open. You feel a quiet invitation, like the feeling you get when someone leaves a light on for you. You step inside. The air in the shop is warm and smells faintly of paper, wax, and something sweet you can't quite place. Perhaps honey, or maybe the scent of old memories. The walls are lined with shelves, and the shelves are filled with lanterns. Lanterns of every size, shape, and color. Some glow a soft blue, like distant snowy evenings. Some glow a deep gold, like late afternoon sun. Some flicker between colors, soft and slow, like auroras caught in glass. A figure appears from behind the counter. They're neither young nor old, neither clearly male nor female. Their presence feels like a quiet someone that your mind doesn't need to categorize. Their eyes are gentle and a little amused, as though they've seen many visitors like you. Couldn't sleep? They ask, their voice as calm as the room around you. You shake your head, and somehow they understand the whole story. Good, they say. Then the city found you. They gesture to the shelves. Every lantern you see here, they explain, belongs to a thought someone couldn't put down, a worry they held too tightly, a memory that wouldn't stop returning. You look around, seeing the lanterns in a new way. Some shine more brightly than others. Some are dim, almost out. What happens to them? You ask softly. The Lanternmaker smiles. People leave them here, they say. They visit the city, they walk around, they breathe, and when they're ready, they pour one thought, one worry into a lantern. Then they leave it here, on a shelf, to glow quietly until it's ready to fade on its own. They pick up a small lantern near you. Inside it, you see a shape, not quite an image, but almost. The suggestion of a calendar, a red circle around a date, a number that seems important. This one, says the Lanternmaker, belonged to someone who was afraid of not being ready in time. They carried that fear for years, and one night they came here and placed it in this lantern. You notice the light inside is very faint, like the last ember of a fire. It's almost done, they add. You watch, and in that moment the light flickers once and gently goes out. The lantern remains quiet and empty. What happens now? You whisper. Nothing, they reply calmly. It simply doesn't need to glow anymore. They set the lantern back down. Would you like to leave one of your thoughts here? They ask, turning that calm gaze back to you. You hesitate. Part of you wants to hold everything tight. Your worries feel important, as if dropping them might mean you're not taking them seriously. The Lanternmaker seems to read your pause. Leaving a thought here doesn't mean it stops mattering, they say softly. It just means you don't have to carry it alone all night. They reach beneath the counter and bring out an empty lantern. It's small, with glass sides and a simple handle. The light inside is not yet lit. This one could be yours, they say, if you'd like. You reach out, fingers brushing the smooth handle. The lantern is light, almost weightless. Close your eyes for a moment. the Lanternmaker suggests. You do. Think of one thought that's been loud tonight, they say. Not all of them, just one. The one that keeps circling back no matter what you think about instead. Immediately, one rises to the surface. Maybe it's a worry about the future. Maybe it's regret about something you said. Maybe it's a fear that you're not enough. Whatever it is, you feel it there, in your chest, in your throat. You don't push it away this time. You just notice it. Now, the Lanternmaker says gently, imagine that thought as a small shape, a little cloud of light and color. Don't judge it. Don't analyze it. Just see it. You breathe in, and with your slow exhale, you imagine that little cloud leaving your chest and drifting down your arm, through your hand, into the lantern you're holding. As it enters, the lantern stirs. A soft glow awakens inside, shimmering, swirling gently. It looks like your thought, but softer, kinder. You open your eyes. The lantern in your hands is glowing now. How do you feel? The Lanternmaker asks. You pause. Lighter? Not completely. You still have other thoughts, other worries, but that one feels less sharp, less tangled. Strange, you murmur. But better. They nod, as if this is the only answer they ever hear. Would you like to leave it here? They ask. You look at the shelves. Lanterns glow quietly in soft rows, each one a little fragment of something someone couldn't carry for one more night. You nod. The Lanternmaker takes your lantern gently from your hands and slides it into an empty space between two others. Your glow joins the constellation. If you visit again, they say, you might still find it here, or it might have dimmed. Either way, you won't be carrying it alone. You thank them quietly. They smile. Take a walk, they suggest. The city is bigger than it looks. You step outside again, back into the soft, cool air, and you realize you feel just a little bit more ready to rest. Not fully, not yet, but better. That's enough. You wander further into the city now, turning corners that seem to turn themselves, led more by feeling than by any clear sense of direction. Eventually, you come to a wide open square. In the middle of it stands a clock tower, and it stretches up into the night, not too tall, but tall enough to be the quiet center of everything around it. Its face is unusual. Instead of numbers, there are small symbols. Little moons, clouds, closed eyes, feathers floating downward. You watch the clock hands crawl slowly around the face. They move, but so lazily that it's hard to tell 1 second from the next. A small plaque at the base of the tower catches your attention. You walk closer and read, "Time runs differently here. No one is late, no one is behind, no one is running out of time." You let the words sink in. How much of your wakefulness comes from that feeling? That you're always behind? That there's something you should have done already? Something you should have become by now? In this square, those thoughts feel quieter. You sit at the edge of a nearby fountain, its water so still that it looks like polished glass. Above, the slow-moving stars seem to echo the clock. No rush, no deadlines, just steady, gentle change. You close your eyes for a moment, listening. You can hear soft sounds in the distance. Footsteps on stone. The shuffle of someone closing a window. A faint melody from a street musician, playing for no one in particular and everyone at once. You breathe in deeply through your nose and exhale slowly. You realize that in this city, nothing is asking you to perform, to impress, to fix everything all at once. You're allowed to just exist. As you sit by the fountain, you feel your own inner clock begin to slow down to match the tower's pace. The urgency melts, drop by drop, like ice thawing in warm hands. You're still awake, but the edges of your wakefulness are softer now. When you stand up again, your legs feel pleasantly heavy, like they're made of warm sand. You continue down a new street, drawn toward a building at the end. It has tall, arched windows and a gentle glow from within, like candlelight behind frosted glass. A small sign above the door reads, "Library of Half Dreams." You push the door open. Inside, the air is cool and clear, with the faint smell of old pages and something like fresh rain. Shelves spiral upward toward a high, domed ceiling, curving along the walls and across balconies. But instead of books, many of the shelves hold glass vials. Each vial contains a swirling mist of color, glowing faintly, changing shape as you watch. A librarian sits behind a curved desk, head bent over a small notebook. They look up as you approach. Their eyes are kind, but a little sleepy, as if they've been reading for centuries. "Welcome," they murmur. "Looking for something in particular?" You hesitate. "What is this place?" you ask. "This," they say, gesturing to the shelves, "is where we keep the half-dreams, the ones people almost had before they woke up, the ones that slipped away the moment they opened their eyes, the ones that were too gentle to survive in the bright light of morning." They reach for a nearby vial, holding it up. Inside, you see a faint image, a field of tall grass under a lavender sky, a child running, someone's laughter. "This," they say, "belonged to someone who woke up too soon. They never got to finish this dream, so we keep it here in case they find their way back." You look around in awe. "Do I have any here?" you ask softly. The librarian's smile deepens. "Everyone does," they reply. "Would you like to see one of yours?" You nod. They pull out a small ladder and glide it along the curved shelves, climbing partway up. They scan the vials, fingers tapping lightly, as if reading their labels by touch. Finally, they select one and bring it down. The vial glows with colors you can't quite name, something between blue and silver, between dusk and dawn. On the glass, you see a tiny pattern, a familiar shape. It takes you a moment to recognize it. It's something from your own life, perhaps a place from your childhood, a hallway from your school, a road you've walked many times. "You almost dreamed this once," the librarian says, handing the vial to you. "But you woke up. You turned off your alarm. You moved on." You hold the vial carefully. Inside you see fragments, a version of you sitting on a rooftop under a soft sky. Someone sitting beside you, a figure made of light and feeling, who listens without interruption as you talk about everything on your mind. You can't hear the words, but you can feel the sense of relief. A dream where you got to say everything without worrying how it sounded. "Can I finish it?" you ask quietly. The librarian nods. "If you like," they say. "You can take it with you tonight. This city is very forgiving with borrowed dreams." You smile for the first time that night, genuinely. You slip the vial into a small pocket that appears over your heart, stitched into your clothes as if it has always been there. "It will know when to open," the librarian says. "Perhaps not now, perhaps not even tonight, but when your mind is ready, it will unfold itself." You thank them. They nod once, already turning back to the endless shelves of forgotten almost dreams. You step back out into the quiet street. The city feels even more familiar now, as if you've been here before and just don't remember. You walk on, passing a few other wanderers. Some stroll slowly, hands in pockets, eyes on the stars. Some sit on steps or benches, heads tilted back, lulled by the soft glow of the lanterns above. You don't speak to them, but you feel something like a shared understanding. You're all awake when you'd rather be asleep. You're all carrying something. You're all allowed to rest here, even before sleep arrives. Eventually, you come to a river. Its water is dark but not frightening, lit from below by tiny floating lights, like stars that decided to swim for a while. A delicate bridge arches over the river, its railings carved with little patterns. Feathers, waves, eyes gently closed. You step onto the bridge. As you walk across, you feel something shifting around you. The sounds of the city fall away until there is nothing but your breath and the soft whisper of the river below. Halfway across, you notice small shapes resting on the railing. Little folded papers tucked gently into the carved patterns. You pick one up. It's blank on the outside, but when you unfold it, there are words inside. Simple words. A goodbye. Not a dramatic one, not full of anger or regret. Just a quiet letting go. You set it back down, careful not to disturb it. Another paper catches your eye. This one has a single sentence written in delicate handwriting. I forgive myself for not knowing then what I know now. Your chest tightens. How many times have you replayed old moments in your head? Old versions of you, doing the best they could with what they understood at the time. You run your fingers along the railing. You realize this is what the bridge is for. Soft goodbyes, not harsh cutting off, not forced forgetting, just small moments where people decide they don't need to hold something so tightly anymore. A thought, a memory, a version of themselves that no longer fits. You could leave something here if you wanted to. You don't have to. Nothing in this city is ever forced. But if there's something you've been gripping with white knuckles, a mistake, a missed chance, a sentence you wish you'd never said, you could write it down now. In your mind, a piece of paper appears between your fingers. You don't need an actual pen. The words appear as you think them. Maybe you write, goodbye to the idea that I have to be perfect to be loved. Or goodbye to the version of me that never makes mistakes. Or something entirely your own. Whatever it is, it appears on the page. You fold the paper gently, feeling the emotional weight of what you've written. Then you tuck it into the carved railing among the others. You don't throw it into the river. You don't tear it up. You simply leave it here with all the other quiet goodbyes. As you step off the bridge on the other side, you feel just a little lighter, not empty, just a little more spacious inside, like there's room now for rest. The streets begin to slope gently upward. The buildings grow smaller, giving way to open spaces. Soon you find yourself at the foot of a low hill, covered in soft, silvery grass that glows faintly under the sky. A stone path winds up the hill, inviting but never demanding. You follow it. As you walk higher, the sounds of the city quiet down until they're just a soft murmur below. At the top of the hill, there's a simple bench. From here, you can see the entire city, lanterns glowing along the streets, windows lit with warm light. the slow, steady movement of stars over the clock tower square. You sit on the bench. The sky above feels closer here, like a soft ceiling you could touch if you reached up just a little. You notice something. Some of the stars in the sky aren't like the others. They pulse softly, flickering in a way that seems almost thoughtful. As you watch, one of them grows brighter for a moment, then slowly drifts downward. You follow it with your eyes as it sinks, gently, toward the hilltop. It stops a few feet in front of you, hovering in the air, a little glowing sphere, no larger than your hands cupped together. Inside the light, you see an image. It's you. Not as you are now, but at another time in your life. Maybe younger, maybe just last year, maybe a moment from earlier today. You're doing something small, sitting at a desk, walking alone, looking out a window. And as you watch that version of yourself, you feel a wave of tenderness. You remember how you felt then, what you were worried about, what you hoped for. You realize that for all the nights you've spent worrying about your future, there was once a version of you who worried about this moment. This version of you, and somehow you made it here. Not perfectly, not without mistakes, but you made it here. The starlight softly enfolds that memory, then begins to rise again, floating back up toward the sky. You watch it return to its place among the others, now glowing a little more steadily. More stars drift downward, one by one. Each holds a tiny memory, a time you were braver than you realized, a time you survived something that once felt impossible, a time you were kind to someone, or to yourself, even if you didn't notice it then. The hilltop fills with soft lights, floating around you like gentle fireflies. They don't crowd you. They don't demand your attention. They're just reminders, evidence scattered across the sky that you've made it through every hard day so far, every restless night, every moment you thought you couldn't. You let that sink in. You've made it through 100% of your worst days. You've survived all your previous sleepless nights. You are here, breathing, watching the city that only appears when you can't sleep. And as you sit there, you feel a change. It's subtle at first, a heaviness in your eyelids, a warmth pooling in your limbs. Your thoughts are less sharp now, like lines drawn in soft chalk and then gently smudged. You feel tired, but the good kind, the kind that comes after letting go. You look down at the city one more time. The streets seem to glow a little more dimly now, not out of sadness, but like a party gently winding down when everyone is ready to go home. You stand up from the bench, stretching slowly. Your body feels even heavier now, but in the nicest way, like gravity is holding you carefully. As you walk back down the hill, you realize something. You're not trying to force yourself to sleep anymore. You're not fighting the night as an enemy. You just feel ready, ready to rest, ready to soften, ready to let your mind loosen its grip on all the things it tried to hold at once. The city seems to guide you, turning your steps down familiar streets, past the Lanternmaker's shop, past the quiet cafe, past the clock tower moving ever so slowly. You return to the stone archway where you first arrived. The marks carved into it glow faintly. Another sleepless night added to the countless others. But this one feels different. This one is softened by starlight, by lanterns, by quiet goodbyes. You turn back one last time. The city looks back at you. It doesn't wave. It doesn't vanish dramatically. It just waits, patiently, as if to say, you can come back whenever you need to, whenever the night feels too heavy, whenever your thoughts are too loud. You nod, as if it can see you. Then, you step through the archway. You feel that sideways falling sensation again, like slipping gently back into a familiar place. Your awareness drifts down, settling into your body. You feel your head on your pillow, your shoulders on the mattress, the weight of your blanket over you, holding you like a quiet embrace. But the sounds of the city fade away, replaced by the gentle background noise of wherever you are. Maybe the faint hum of electronics, distant traffic, or perhaps just silence. You inhale slowly and exhale even slower. You notice how much heavier your body feels now compared to when we started. Your limbs are soft, warm, a little distant. You remember the lantern you left behind, your thought glowing quietly on a shelf with all the others. You remember the paper you folded on the bridge, tucked into the railing among so many soft goodbyes. You remember the small vial of half-dream nestled near your heart. You don't need to open it now. It will unfold when it's ready. Maybe tonight. Maybe another night. For now, you don't have to do anything, not fix yourself, not figure everything out, not untangle your entire life. You just have to breathe. Let's breathe together a few more times. Inhale through your nose, slowly, feeling your chest rise, your ribs expand. Hold for just a moment, and exhale through your mouth like a quiet sigh, releasing any tension you find. Again, inhale, imagining the calm of the city filling your lungs, the lantern-lit streets, the slow clock tower, the shimmering river. Hold, exhale, letting go of the night's tightness, of the pressure to sleep right now. You don't have to force it. Sleep is like that city. It appears most gently when you stop trying to drag it closer. One more time. Inhale, feeling the soft weight of your body, the safety of your bed, the quiet of this moment. Hold and exhale, sinking even deeper. If thoughts come back, and they might, because that's what minds do, you don't have to argue with them. You can imagine handing each one a tiny lantern and placing it on a shelf, or writing it on a piece of paper and tucking it into the bridge's railing, or sending it up into the sky to become a gentle star. Your only job is to rest. Even if you're not fully asleep yet, rest is still valuable. Rest still matters. You are still allowed to be here, doing nothing but breathing and listening and existing. The city of sleepless nights will always appear when you need it. You can walk its streets again anytime your thoughts feel too loud. But for now, it's slowly dimming its lanterns, quieting its squares, settling under its slow turning sky. Because tonight, you might finally be ready to drift. Your eyelids grow heavier, your jaw unclenches, your shoulders sink. You are safe. You are allowed to let go. You have survived every night before this one, and you will survive this one too. If sleep comes now, let it. If it takes a little longer, that's okay. You are still resting. You are still enough. And as you drift, whether into dreams or into that soft, in-between place, know this: you are not alone in your wakefulness. You have never been strange or wrong for struggling to sleep. You are simply human, tender, thinking, feeling, and somewhere in a city made of lanterns and slow clocks, There's always a quiet bench waiting for you, a calm hill under a breathing sky, and streets that only appear for those like you. For now, let yourself fall. Fall into the mattress. Fall into the pillow. Fall into the softness waiting beneath you. Sleep well, dream deeply, and remember, even on the nights when you can't sleep, there is a place just for you. You are not alone.